talking about expanding. Actually, not this kind of expanding, but expanding your business, expanding to new markets. There's a lot to worry about when we're talking about expanding. And so a lot of times that's a goal for many businesses. They want to grow, they want to sell, they want to franchise, all good things. But before you get to expanding, you have to think about what you're going to do with it. Just like my pretend belly expansion, you got to have a plan. There's certain things you need to have in place. You can't just bring home a baby and just set it at the dining room table and hope that everything works okay, right? Even I know that. So here's what you want to talk about. So if you're going to expand your staff, make sure that you have an idea of what they're going to do. Make sure you have a process to get them onboarded so they can start working right away. I was talking to a friend of mine who works in HR, and she said it's something like a crazy percentage, like 75% of people know based on the onboarding if they're going to stay with an organization. They've already made up their mind. Okay, that percentage might be off, but it's a large percentage. I think that's what she told me. Anyway, so onboarding matters. Onboarding matters because you need to be efficient. You need to make sure that people can get started doing their training, doing what they need to do. It's important, okay? And it's not just important for the employees, but it's important for you as a business owner to make sure that the people can do their job. I mean, why else are you hiring them? To gaze adoringly upon you? I think you can get somebody off Craigslist to do that. Just saying. So, growing your staff. Those are the things that you need to think about. If you're going to grow into new products, okay, how different are your new products? Are they going to require new special tools, new special labels, new special knowledge? What does that look like? And if it doesn't require any of those things, that's great, but you're not off the hook. So you need to think about, okay, if you're going to add new products, who's going to do the products? How are you going to sell the products? How are you going to market the products? And how does it fit in with your current production? Okay, because sometimes new products, even if they're mostly the same, but a little bit different, they can still throw a wrench in that process because they are so similar that people forget as they're doing the production that it's not exactly the same and things get missed. Okay, so you need to really think about that. And that really comes down to having your process documentation and understand what the process is, how the products are formed, and who does what. I mean, it's very important. So finally, we talked about growing into new markets. Like, and people love that. I mean, because that is a sign of success. If you are ready to move on to a new market or tap a new demographic, that's huge because that's more people utilizing, talking about, and paying for your services or your products, or, you know, really just generating excitement about you, about your business, about your organization. That's awesome. But here's the thing. You want to think about, again, who is going to do the work and what is the work going to look like? Do you need special licensing? Do you need to consult an attorney? Do you need to hire more people? Do you need to hire more people in this market or within this demographic to make sure that you're successful? Okay. It all comes down to, you really need to make sure that you understand what's happening in your organization before you start to grow and expand. Okay. So, and how do we understand what's happening in our organization? Say it with me. Processes and policies. That's how we know what's going on in our organization. Okay. And if you don't have processes and policies, it's time to really start looking at them. Okay. Because you're going to gain efficiency, which is the E we're going to talk about in a couple weeks. You're going to understand more of what's going on in your organization. Okay. And that's really important, because while you can ask people what's going on in your organization, they're going to tell you, but probably not going to remember to tell you everything, and because we're all just human. If you were to ask me a list of, everything I've eaten this week, I'm going to miss something. But if I write it down, I know. It's just like a grocery list. If I go to the store and I don't have a list, I am going to forget something. You know why? You guessed it. Because it's not written down. So that's why I preach about making sure that you have this information written down, organized, and accessible. So that's what I want you to think about this week is expansion. What would that look like for your organization? And what are the policies and processes that you might need to do on the back end to get ready? All right, friends, have a great week, and we will catch you again here in next space. Heather Lytle, Lytle Communications. Have a great one.